going into situations where you are trying to claim I'm the first Black person, and you didn't have to fight those battles that someone who actually looks like a Black person would fight, you're doing a disservice to the community that you say that you love. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's G here. All right, so this is one of those things. As a mom who is raising multi-ethnic, biracial children, their identity and race politics, they're only babies, so I don't really have to do it right now, but thinking about it, my plan as a parent to handle these issues, I have been seeing a lot of these kind of pictures where it's like the first Black something, and it's a photo of a full white person. I'm sure everyone has seen these photos of the first Black something, and it's basically a picture of a full-on white human, and they can say they're Black because they have Black ancestry, Black parentage, something of this sort, because of the one-drop rule, right? The racist one-drop rule. For me, there's a couple questions. Is being Black simply about ancestry, or is it about an experience? Is it fair for someone who can live outside of that experience to claim that they are Black because of parentage? Right, subscribe to the channel. I want to explore this discussion with you guys, and of course, if you are enjoying these conversations, like, share, comment. Make sure you subscribe as well, but make sure you like, share, and comment so I know that these topics are interesting. All right, let's have this little discussion. Okay, now, as a Black American, one of the things that you're always taught is that you're Black. And claiming otherwise makes you problematic. It means you hate yourself. It means you are trying to live outside of something that is very evident that you are. With more and more people dating, marrying, having children with other ethnicities, I think some people are surprised to find out that their kids, when you're Black, can come out fully looking like their other parents. And you can have multiple children, they all look different because genetics does funny things, and we can't control it. But one of the things I think that as a Black parent you are taught, even subconsciously, is any claim outside of your Blackness means you are a problematic person. You don't like yourself, there is a problem. And I think we pass this idea on to our children, even if they don't necessarily present, their phenotype is not necessarily presenting as a Black person. So you have this whole white baby growing up having a whole different experience than you. And I think even more people will start to embed upon them, like, you got Black parents, you are Black. You know what I mean? Like, because they don't want, I don't know, like, they don't want the Black folks to be like, this kid doesn't know who they are. The truth of it is, it's not that simple, is it? It's not that simple to just be like, you are Black because I am your parent, even though the world is going to perceive you differently. Now, I have children who are not going to be perceived as white, and so that makes my job in some ways easier. But because I'm not in the United States, nationalism here is more important than ethnicity at times. And in that sense, people are not going to see them as Italian because they don't look Italian. So I have to work on identity politics with them as well as they're growing up. However, when we start talking about experience and we start talking about that versus ancestry or being able to connect through parentage or whatever, when we talk about ancestry and experience, we're talking about two different things. And even if you're growing up with your parents in your household, you have a whole like Black mama, whatever, Black father, and you are a white presenting person, what is the parent's responsibility to teach you about your Blackness versus your whiteness? because you cannot claim to have the same type of experience as even my children who are biracial. However, they do not have a white phenotype, right? So their experience as in their skin is going to be different. And one of the things that makes that different is people assuming something about them based on what they look like and being presented to the world as a Black person. Your experience is different. I don't care if you're a divester, I don't care who you are or what you want to claim. If you are in brown skin, you're in brown skin. And that is an experience in this world. And we all know it to be true, whether you want to admit it or not. We all know it to be true. Now, being in paler skin, having less melanin, and still having a Black parent, as a parent, it is your responsibility to help your child understand who they are and define themselves properly. Putting a whole white woman under above a title that says the first Black something or another, you are slapping the face of every Black woman who has to battle against her brownness to be recognized and seen. And as a parent, you need to teach your children that. I'm sorry, like, that's my strong opinion. I think that you need to understand, yes, I am your mother, I am your father. However, your experience in this world is going to be based on what you look like. There are plenty of white presenting celebrities with Black parentage, and you know what? No one ever questioned their whiteness, so it never came up. And when people found out, they're like, oh, Pete Wentz, he has a Black mama? Why would you think that? It's never come up, and why does anyone care? He's not, you know, taking a title of Blackness from someone. Most Black folks have always assumed, you know what, if I have a child, regardless of who I have a child with, it's a Black child, full stop. And that is part of the history in America, to constantly say, you know what, whiteness has to be pure. And it can only be between two white, like, it was illegal, you know, there were so many things and reasons that this sort of mentality was developed and has been supported. Because if you try to erase your Blackness when you have Black parentage or heritage or whatever, people are going to look at you a certain way. It means that, like, they're automatically like, you don't like Black folks, you're racist, you're this, that, and the other, you hate yourself. And the truth is, their experience is going to be based on their experience in this world, in their skin. And as parents, we have to be honest with ourselves. We can't just assume that we're going to have all, like, children who look and present a certain way when we decide to have children with people of other ethnicities, because you don't know what's going to happen. Genetics don't agree with racism. It just doesn't, because that was something that we created, and genetics has nothing to do with our human experience. But once they're out here in the world, our human experience takes over. So I think that as we are navigating these worlds of having multi-ethnic children, biracial children, we need to be honest with them about who they are and what the world is going to see them as. I think it would be more fair, you know, if you're going to say someone is the first biracial, or perhaps the first like, the fact that we still have to say that there is a first brown person who did something is also depressing. I mean, it gets to that point where it's just like, y'all trying to get credit for something that isn't the case. If you are a Black parent who has a child that comes out looking white or non-Black, your responsibility is to teach that child who they are despite their parentage, despite that, because the world, and it's fair, what they need to understand is how the broad strokes of this world really affect people who are not like them, people who are actually brown, physically, phenotype, like their phenotype presents as a Black person. and how it's different. So even if you are proud to be Black or you define yourself that way, you still have a responsibility to understand that your Blackness, your brownness is different. And it's partially wrapped in colorism, it's partially wrapped in all of these things. However, as parents who want to raise children who are whole and aware and don't have identity crisis and don't have like identity issues, I think it's completely fair to say, yes, I am your parent. However, you are presented this way and the world is going to be different for you. So going into situations where you are trying to claim, I'm the first Black person, and you didn't have to fight those battles that someone who actually looks like a Black person would fight, you're doing a disservice to the community that you say that you love. Because truthfully, if you think you are a parent who wants your child to be proud of their heritage, that's part of the responsibility. And to be really honest about what that looks like in this world is part of your responsibility as well. If you're somebody who doesn't give a who doesn't care, then, you know, do what you want to do. Raise them, you know, like, who cares? Like, because there's a part of people who are like that as well. But I think that don't go and say I'm the first Black something or another when nobody in this world will ever see you as somebody who had to fight those same battles, right? And I'm not saying biracial people can't say that they're Black. You can say whatever you want to say, but with full awareness of what you are doing and what you're saying and what that looks like. If you don't have that awareness and if you want to be daft, then by all means continue to be that as well. You just need to do better. Something to think about, guys. Tell me your thoughts. I can't wait to hear what you have to say in the comments. Remember, like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. And ciao for now.